Before a single wall went up on a Vastu building site, there was a ceremony most people have never heard of. Builders ritually plowed the empty ground with a custom-built plough and specially chosen oxen. It's described in real, granular detail in a classical Sanskrit architecture text called the Mānasāra, right down to the wood the plough was carved from and the exact markings required on the oxen's coats. This is a historical description, not a construction manual, so let's just walk through what it actually says, step by step. The ritual is called Karshana-vidhi, and it doesn't happen at random. In the Mānasāra's site selection chapter, the builder first tests the ground itself, digging a pit and refilling it, where soil that overflows the pit is judged good, and soil that falls short is judged poor. Only after the ground passes that physical test does the text move on to Karshana-vidhi, the ploughing ceremony, as the next stage of preparing the site. This wasn't a farm tool pulled off a shelf. The Mānasāra specifies the plough be made from particular trees, bibul, also called acacia catechu, along with neem and pine, or other trees with milky sap. It gives measurements for every component. The plough's body could be 1 1¼ or 1½ cubits long. The tail was 1½ cubits, tapering to a width of 5 angulars, roughly 3¾ inches, at the bottom. The yoke connecting to the oxen was 2½ cubits. Even the small details were specified, a lotus leaf motif carved into the root of the tail, and an iron nail driven through the blade hole by the carpenter. The oxen selection is its own detailed checklist. For coat colors were considered auspicious: whitish, brown, red, and yellow. Variegated coloring, or an ox bearing a stick mark, was to be avoided. So were animals with downward bent horns, superfluous horns, or horns that crossed each other. Age mattered too. Both very young and very old oxen were disqualified. So were oxen with bite scars, poor eyesight, short tails, disc-shaped hoofs, torn ears, missing teeth, or lameness. The single most ideal ox, per the text, was naturally white, marked with a spot at the front of each of its 4 feet, at the base of its horns, and at the center of its forehead, with eyes described as red, well-socketed, and shaped like flowers. Once chosen, the oxen were fitted with gold rings around the base of their horns and hoofs, and their foreheads and ears were decorated in gold as well. The day before the actual ceremony, the builder performed a trial run, yoking the oxen to the plough for a preliminary, experimental ploughing. This wasn't just practical rehearsal, the text frames it as part of the ritual sequence itself, a way of preparing both the animals and the plough for the real ceremony to follow. On the actual day, timed to an auspicious astrological moment, both the oxen and the architect were adorned with perfume and flowers, and the architect dressed in white cloth. Then came the part of this ritual I find genuinely remarkable. The architect was instructed to meditate on the 2 oxen as the sun and the moon, on the plough itself as Vishnu in his boar incarnation, and on himself as Brahma, the creator deity. Officiating priests pronounced a benediction. Then the architect ploughed exactly 3 ceremonial rounds himself, amid auspicious sounds, before handing the plough over to trained field workers, who completed the ploughing of the rest of the site. One detail the text is specific about: whoever finished the ploughing had to remain, in its words, pure and attentive throughout, and was required to inform the architects the moment the ploughing was fully complete. The ground itself is then described, in the text's own phrase, as the foundation of all kinds of buildings, the base every subsequent stage of construction rests on. If you watched our earlier episode on West symbolism, you remember Vrishabha the bull is West's totem animal, paired with Varuna, a deity of oceans and rivers. This ritual is why that bull symbolism isn't just decorative. The tradition had an entire literal ceremony, oxen breeding standards and all, built around treating construction as an agricultural act, preparing soil the same way a farmer prepares a field before a harvest. That's Karshana-vidhi, the ploughing ceremony hiding behind Vastu's bull symbolism. If you want the full breakdown of West's other symbols, the sea deity and the wealth reputation, check the earlier episode link above, and subscribe for the rest of this series.